But now you can actually hear me. And the good part about this is now that I'm mic'd up, when we go sit out there and start eating pizza, you can hear the that'd be great. So let me step off camera real quick here and grab our second little microphone and bring on our first guest, and hopefully many more to come. So we'll bring him in here. Here he comes. Aha. Step right on in. Roy. This is Roy, everybody.
Hello.
This guy right here, we worked together 5.5 years ago.
Yes. Before my nuts dropped.
Yeah. It was a long time ago. Shoot, do I not have a clip for
this?
Thanks
for having me.
It's good to be. It's good to have you here, my friend.
It's like you're bringing back my cooking skills that you taught me. I hope I don't embarrass you.
Oh, you're not going to embarrass me, my friend. We'll put those to the test. The good thing is that it's pizza. You really can't mess that up. Well, you can fuck up a pizza, believe me, because works.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think so. That should work. Anyway, so we're gonna step outside. We're gonna take out all of our ingredients. We got our pizza oven out there heating up, and we're gonna take all our ingredients out there, set up, and then we'll be right back. There we go. All right. So we're outside. We're gonna do our dough here, and we're basically doing 8-ounce ball dough. So it's basically an individual size pizza dough here. So nothing, too extravagant or anything else like that. We're just kind of going thin crust on the hand toss thin crust kind of a dough here. You can open up your dough there, Roy. We washed our hands. We believe in safe cooking. So
as most do
exactly.
not.
So now, before we do any of that, we want to flour our surface here. Just kind of, I always say it's like rolling dice at the casino. You take a little bit like this, and you just kind of go like that. Like Mama needs a new pair of shoes, and just right onto the table, just like that.
Craps table.
There you go. And then don't move it around like that. Okay. See a lot of people do that. It's like, it's like, what the hell do you do that for? So
like this?
Yep. There you go.
Cool.
So then you're gonna take your dough, nice and gently, just kind of work around it, and then don't overwork it because you don't want it to become tough. So just take it, flip it out just like that, and then put the oil side up.
Oil side up.
Oil side up. Yep. There we go. And then we're gonna flour it on top again. I'm downwind. Well, if I was having those issues with sweaty crotch, so.
Oh man.
Forget the cornstarch. We'll just go all-purpose flour, baby. All right, so.
Oh shit.
All right, so we're gonna take our fingers and we're just gonna, or hand, and just kind of press down, just straight down, just like this, nice and gentle. This is like the easiest way to show people how to really stretch it,
Okay, and that's what she said.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And then flip.
Nope. I just kind of moved it so it doesn't stick, and just kind of make sure there's enough flour underneath it. So when we do stretch it, and then if it starts to stick a little bit, maybe just a tad more flour right there.
Gotcha.
And then we should be good. Now we're gonna take your index finger. You right-handed?
I am.
Okay. So right hand, index finger, and then the bottom palm of your left hand here. We're just basically gonna go around here and just kind of crimp the dough. You see that?
Oh.
Where you doing that one?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Just like that. See that? And he literally forming the crust like there. So if anybody can see that at home, it's just kind of forming the crust right there.
Am I fingering it right? I had to.
I'm not complaining.
I had to.
Oh my god! All right, so no, you're not done. All right, so see how you're getting it all it's getting all tangled up there.
Okay.
So just kind of, we can fix this. Just go around like that. Just kind of go like that with your fingertips like that, all the way around. You can turn the crust, but leave your hand like at the 12. How's that? Leave your hand at the 12 o'clock position. See what I'm saying? 12 o'clock.
Right here.
Yeah, there you go. So then you turn the dough. There you go. So now you can kind of work with it that way. There you go. Now you're good to go. So now you got a crust formed right there. So now you're just going to basically take your fingertips and just kind of press in the center, just all the way up to the divot of the crust. Like I said, this is why we make sure our surface is nice and floured so it's easily maneuverable so it doesn't stick to the table.
Gotcha.
And then once you have that done, I'd punch it down a little bit more in the center for sure. Just fingertip, there you go. And then we're going to flip that sucker over now.
Is my crust looking right?
It's all right.
Okay.
It's your first pizza. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So flip it on over.
Flip one hand.
Yep, doesn't matter. Yep, going over. Flip it on over. There you go. Now we're going to do the same thing with our fingertips again. Just kind of punch down in the center. The temperature and pollen index out here is crazy today. So like between the smoke from the fire and the pollen and everything else in the air, it's like our allergies are both kind of acting up. Yeah, so it's a little rough. I was planning on shooting out here as far as sitting down and eating our pizza. Yeah, that might change. That might change. It's mid-December. What's today? The 18th. Yeah.
The 18th.
God, so we're a week away from Christmas, and it's 80 degrees, and yeah, we're kind of. I don't feeling like it's Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does not at all. It's funny because like when it was October, I was working the pool bar. I was bartending the pool bar, and it was still like in the 90s. Also, am I doing this right?
There you go. Just make sure you punch down in the center a little bit more. There you go.
The center.
All right. So now we're gonna basically hold it by the crust right here, like this, around both fingers right here, and we're just gonna let gravity kind of lift it on up like this, and then just kind of let gravity kind of do its job. Then you can kind of get it around your hands like this right here, you know what I mean? And then just kind of slowly just stretch it. Like I said, just let gravity do its job.
While I'm still gripping the crust.
Exactly. Nice shirt. I just noticed your shirt.
Pipe laying expert. Did you see the back?
We lay pipe all night long.
You see the back?
The deeper we go, the more you'll say, whoa.
Yep.
Nice.
Don't ask me where I got it. I'll tell you. It's Spirit Halloween.
Halloween.
I was supposed to be a plumber for Halloween. And I realized how cool of a shirt it is. Because last Halloween, I was also a plumber, but the shirt was cooler. This one just felt more closer to...
Yeah. Well, after learning how to do this, now you can, be dressed up as a pizza delivery guy, I have a large sausage pizza.
Extra sausage.
Did you ever see that episode of Family Guy where Quagmire becomes a hooker and Peter's his pimp?
Yes.
And just driving him around, and it's like, he dresses up like the sausage pizza delivery guy. And then they're driving away, and Peter's eating the pizza, and he picks up the slice, and it's got a hole in the center. And I was like, oh, God.
Do you think Family Guy's still the same?
It's changed.
Yeah?
I think it's
I just kind of keep going?
I think you're good. We're both pretty good as far as, like, stretches, is concerned. And the goal is to have a round pizza, and you, my friend, have got a round pizza. So
I love that. Do I need to, like, form this more or no?
No, that's pretty much it. So what we'll do now is I'm going to let you do your pizza first here. So, and I'll explain, just the way that we do it. It just makes life a little bit easier. And we teach the pizza classes. We normally tell them that make sure they have a pizza peel so they can build their pizza on it. Because, like, a lot of the times, it's stuck to the table or whatever, and it's just a mess. So, and you can easily kind of, like, slip it up underneath there like that, build your pizza and then put it on the pizza peel. But like I said, it's just easier to have it. So we throw a little bit of cornmeal on there.
That makes sense.
So the cornmeal acts as like ball bearings. So these, when you go to slide it into the pizza oven, it just kind of slides right off. But you don't want too much of it on there because then that stuff burns.
Gotcha.
So just enough on there. So then go ahead and lift your crust up on top of there.
Right there.
Yes, sir. Then lift it on up. It's got plenty of body actually. So as long as there's no hole, and then you don't have any holes, so you're good to go. So then start doing your pesto. Nope, there you go. And start building your pizza here, my friend. So
what? Do I take it by the spoon and just kind of?
Yep, start in the center. Put like one or two. I would say one for sure, but probably two. You want a little bit more sauce onto there. So
You remember one thing you taught me when we were cooking?
what's that?
Bring the plate to the kitchen. Don't bring the kitchen to the plate.
That's right.
That was some
That's
dumb
right.
shit I just did right there.
That's
Anyway,
all good. There.
and then
Yep, and then you just smooth it right on out, just like you're doing right there. Back of the spoon, nice and slow, and then like I said, probably just another one on there just to kind of get it all nice and saucy. So that was homemade homemade pesto right there. So
how the
what
hell do you
what
make
we
this
what
stuff?
we Pesto? It's easy. Yeah,
That I
pesto's not
gotta know.
pesto's not so bad. It's basically just herbs, usually basil, but you can use different other herbs, whatever. But typically basil, pine nuts, Parmesan cheese, garlic, olive oil, a little bit of lemon zest in there just to kind of give it a little oomph to it.
Yeah.
Where? I think you're good.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more. I mean, if you want it to be saucier.
Yeah, extra sauce.
Sauce.
My bad.
Oh, you're good. So then you can just start building it right after you get your cheese here. If you're gonna put I would say the prosciutto and the capicola for the end.
Okay.
Just kind of put that on there just to kind of warm it up at the very end.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, go ahead and put your cheese on.
Doesn't matter how.
Nope. No, you're good. There you go. And then pepperoni, oven dried tomatoes, all your other good stuff there. I grabbed the black olives, the canned black olives. I don't know if you're into that or whatever. So
Olives are olives, bro.
that's the way I look.
You ever had blue cheese olives?
Yeah, they're good.
We use those on the martinis we make at my workplace, and goddamn. So then, which order do I have to do it? Does it matter?
No, you can put the black olives, tomatoes. Maybe take another piece of cheese and just kind of shred it up there on the top, just kind of have a little bit of stickiness to it, so kind of glues it all down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I started doing pizzas when I was 16 years old. It was like back in the day. It was like I didn't think twice about whether I never thought I would be in the culinary industry. It's like I always enjoyed cooking and stuff like that, but I never thought I was going to be doing that for a living. You know what I mean? So
do you think that's what makes people so passionate about the shit they do? Because that's how I was about music when I started.
You gotta love what you do.
It just kind of started as like, I don't think I'll do this in life, but I definitely enjoy entertaining people and like being in the field of creativity. That's why I like cooking. I like bartending, but definitely, do you think that's why you like really liked cooking? Because it wasn't, you just did it because it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed cooking. Like I said, I think you got to enjoy what you do.
No doubt.
So if you don't enjoy what you do, then why are you doing it?
That's facts.
Because if you're doing it just for money, are you happy? It's like I think people, you want to be happy. You need to, you need to be happy with what you do.
We should ask a hooker, because I'm sure she's just doing it for the money. You think
well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It's like I'm not promoting it, but $20 is $20.
Stay in school, kids.
Right? Stay in school. Stay in school.
Oh man!
Like,
did you say $20 is $20?
$20 is $20.
Man, you're a cheap one. I would pay a premium for you, bro, if I saw you on the side of the street.
Yeah,
respectfully.
Premium my ass. I said to my wife the other day, I thought about being a prostitute once, but after my first client, and I was charging $10, and then she handed me $50 and said change back. Like, no.
Oh no. No.
Handed me a $50 bill and asked for change.
I'd probably call the cops on that person in that instant. It's like, you probably shouldn't be buying any cooch right now or any ass right now. Do I put these meats on right now, or just for after?
Save those for the after. So you got your tomatoes on there. All right.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say to everybody that Roy got his order in to me a little late. We always ask that our clients or our guests, I should say, our guests get their orders in.
I mean this.
And Roy texted me last night. It's like Here's what you got. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like,
Oh,
oven dried
no.
tomatoes. I was like, that's the worst thing to do. All right, so we're gonna spin this around real quick here. There's our alpha oven. So Roy's gonna bring over
Oh,
after I
no.
move this over here a second. Hold on, my friend. Let me shift a little bit over here. Boom, as it all falls down.
I apologize. I was on
Oh, it's all good.
CPT.
It's all good. All right, bring it on over, my friend. And you're gonna basically lay it right on in here, right where I'm at. Lay it nice and flat.
Right there.
Yep, lay it flat. Shake it, just shake it gently. Just, yeah, there you go. A little bit more, and then pull back. There you go. That is it. And then you can just set that right over there. I'll take care of that in a second. Cool. So I'm gonna cook your pizza here. So we'll get a little shot in here. Like I said, we're winging it here, folks. We're just kind of, it's all about the interviewing here and talking with our guests and letting everybody get to know everybody. So it's a nice looking pizza, man.
Yeah, that shit does look nice.
That's nice.
I think I was thinking more about like, this goes with the creative side of things. The colors, when I was picking the ingredients, I wanted to have like interesting color coding around it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The purple from the, or black and the olives. And then the green from the pesto. And... yeah, man. I don't know.
Look at that. That's a nice looking first pizza right there.
Oh shit! And it's cooking pretty well.
It's cooking beautifully. You got a nice crust going on out there. It's thick, but it's not too thick. You know what I mean? It's nice. But yeah, it's just
this is dope.
It's quick. It's fast, man. We did for Thanksgiving. We did our turkeys for us and also for our clients in here. So we popped it in here, got it to like 450, 500, and then just kind of let the turkeys kind of sit in there, and the skin just gets super crispy, and it was awesome.
Does this cook the turkey a little better?
Got a little dark there. It's all good. A little dark on the tomatoes. We probably could have put them on toward the end, but that's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's put on your capicola. Yep. Capicola, prosciutto, and like I said, just probably just shred that up a little bit, make life a little easier on yourself, because like otherwise, yeah, the tomatoes got a little on the dark side.
Gotcha.
Actually, let's turn this around.
So
here.
you think I should have put them in maybe like same time as the prosciutto and stuff?
Yeah, I probably would have done the tomatoes at the end, with the prosciutto and the capicola. So that's all good. Give it a taste. Make sure it's okay. If they're not, then we can just pick them off and just throw them on. You know what I mean? If it's too burnt or whatever.
Solid.
Good. All right. There you go.
I like the charred taste on it.
I'm glad you said that.
I really do.
Because it's like, all right, well, you're stuck with it now. So, but yeah, it's nice. Lift up the back of your crust right here so we can get a little shot on see how the crust on the bottom turned out there. Ooh, it's a little dark. That's all right. A little dark, but it's good. Solid.
Is it weird that I like it?
No, it's good because like a good char on your crust is what you're looking for.
Okay.
So you're good, man. That's actually really, really good looking. And when you're using pesto, since it's oily, the oil kind of like really makes the crust kind of crisp up, and it does brown fairly quickly too.
Gotcha.
But we're also we're right at temperature there. So I was gonna say maybe a little too hot in there, but I think we're good. All right. So once again, here I'll let you take that.
Same idea, just kind of
just pop it right on in there. Yeah, just pop it right on in, and then
same spot.
I'll take it. Yep. And then we'll just kind of warm it up for about 10 or 15 seconds. I'll take that from you. And that's really about it, man. Just kind of warm it up just a touch.
What would you do if you weren't cooking?
What would I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Actually, I've been kicking around the idea of getting into doing comedy, but
which you would kill. Absolutely, you'd do great.
Don't tell my wife that. let's leave one field where you struggle to make money to go into another field where you're brand new and struggle to make money. So like okay, like it's pretty much where I'm at. All right, that's pretty damn good. All right, so let me pull that on out, and then let's bring it on over here.
Okay.
And then we'll slice that bad boy up.
Did I overdo it on the toppings or?
A little heavy.
Okay.
A little heavy. You a little bit goes a long way, but let's listen to this. Let's see if it. That's a solid crust right there, man. That's good.
Oh yeah.
That sounds delicious. All right. So then,
I was trigger happy on those toppings.
it's all good. We'll take your plate.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna slide this right off of there onto there. Boom, boom. There you go. I'm hoping this is turning out. I really don't know. I got the camera kind of turned around the other way, so I'm hoping it turns out. So let me freeze this real quick. All right. Make sure we're getting all the good stuff on the camera. So, just Roy. We're just kind of hanging out here cooking pizza. So, yeah, it's just, I think that's kind of why, my wife is looking, and I guess I should say we're looking for, is a change of scenery. It's kind of funny because like I moved out here from Pennsylvania to change of scenery, change of temperatures and everything else like that, and now we're thinking of possibly moving back. She's never experienced it, so the whole four seasons sort of thing, she doesn't know it. Living out here in Arizona, it's like you don't get that. You don't get the whole November, December, January, February where it's actually cold.
Somebody recently mentioned that you do, and I was like, no. If anything, it's just breezy. It's never really cold.
You'll get a couple of days where it gets cold.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't stay cold. You know what I mean? Like if you're lucky, a week, maybe a week and a half. But then it's gone,
Have you ever tried frying an egg on the pavement in the summer?
No, I haven't done that.
I kind of want to do that this summer.
I don't think
see if it's possible.
I don't think it's gonna get that hot. So
really,
no, I don't think so.
Wow.
They always say it does, but no. Like I used to. I mean, back when I was running, it's like it's like the pavement was hot. Like, you could feel the heat, radiating up into your shoes, along your legs, and it's like, it's hot. You know what I mean?
Didn't you do the half marathon? Around the same time that I met you.
Yeah. I was training for the rock and roll half up in Vegas.
Wow.
So, and that's where that story I was gonna tell you about. So
that's the goofy goobers.
Exactly. It's like, kids, if you're gonna experiment with different things, Vegas is probably not the place to do it. So
yeah,
it's readily available, but
God,
probably not the. So yeah, that's all nice and.
Oh, nice that looks good.
Nice and bubbly.
You hear that?
Right? Hear that sizzling?
God, that looks good. Yeah, I definitely went trigger happy with my.
It's all good. No, it's all good. So, then just like I said, put a little prosciutto on the end. Just kind of rip it up because like it makes it easier to kind of chew. Otherwise, it's like you get that long piece of prosciutto, and like so. And then as far as eating on camera, we'll figure it out. We're not gonna go hungry, but we're also not gonna be sitting there going. I get it. So, but
having the mic up in your mouth,
right?
ASMR.
There's
eating ASMR.
There's certain things that I just can't stand, and that's one of them. Is I forgot the black olives.
The chomping.
The sound. Yeah, the sound of another person eating.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
Or growing up, East Coast, deal with colds and everything else. You get the one kid that's sitting behind you that's got the stuffed up nose just sitting there. It's like, oh God.
My brother.
Oh.
And I hope he doesn't see this. I love you, big brother. But that fucker, dude. So he's got really bad allergies. And the thing is, he would always be so focused on the meal, he'd forget how hard he was breathing. And we're sitting there eating a whole meal. Like,
oh, yeah, it's
like he's eating a whole mile on the. Dude, that looks amazing.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
That looks amazing.
And if anybody is looking to hire for a real chef, do some real food, yeah, give me a call.
Call Loop-de-Loo.
Call Loop-de-Loo, yeah. It's like call Raffy. Remember that?
Raffy.
Oh God! I saw a video of somebody a lady dressed up as him.
Uh-huh.
It had the whole poster, you know, and the Raffi in the background. It was like she had the beard and everything. It was fantastic. All right, let's eat. Let's show off our pizzas here. So good stuff right there, man. Let's eat these suckers. There we go.
I recently saw a video of is it an American eagle, bald eagle? I don't remember. Literally picked up a 7-year-old
7-year-old.
and flew away with it. I don't know. It might have been,
Little AI thing right
it
there.
might have been. I wouldn't barely trust shit these days. So it's like
No.
it probably was like something edited out, but regardless, it looked just insane. The fact that these birds can do this blows my mind.
Oh yeah, they're that's for real, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's check and see if our shares are doable here.
They're not too wonky.
Well, that's good. Wonky's not good. And the fact that you use the word wonky ought to make my wife happy because that's one of her favorite words. Like I'm trying to put myself on camera, and I was like, I don't really need to be on camera. Just my voice. Anyway, so we got the neighbors. Try to keep the swearing down a little bit. Yeah. It's kind of like one of those things. I was like, and if we ever wanted to, partake in whatever, it's like we have to do that somewhere else. So. But that's okay.
My brother told me this story in school where his teacher was like, listening to him talk, and he was like, Ronnie, can you turn down the cussing? And he goes, oh shit, my bad.
You don't think twice about it. It's like, it just pops out of your mouth. I get it. Cheers. But while you're eating, while you're eating, I'll have you introduce yourselves because we didn't really introduce who we are and what we do and everything else like that. So, did you pick a cup or? Okay, doesn't matter. Shit, we shared food at work and everything else like that.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. Eat off plates and whatever. Sit that back here down here. That works.
That's so good. Do you season the dough?
Oh yeah. It's plenty of salt. I always say that if you don't have enough salt in your dough of pizza dough or bread dough or whatever, it's like it's just bland. There's no flavor to it.
Like Little Caesars pizzas,
except better.
Literally, Little Caesars pizzas are like under seasoned. This is amazing.
Oh, okay. I never.
Oh no, this is far from Little Caesars.
I've never had a Little Caesars before. I remember I used to eat Domino's back in the day because that was like, I don't know. I remember it was like new to my town. It's like, all right, I'll try Domino's, whatever. Or ordering 2 large mushroom pizzas after a football game and then just eating both of them. And I'm like, should I call back and get another? I was starving, man. It was funny, but
what's the closest thing to good pizza? Would you like? What's the closest pizza food chain you'd consider good pizza?
I don't know about chains, but
Our popular ones.
out here, I guess in the Phoenix area, we have Bianca. Everybody talks about. It's kind of like the place to be, but I think one of my grad students, he took over, right, and started the chef at Trevor's Liquor, and I think they have like 4 locations down the valley, and they're great, and they actually did really well on the Portnoy, when he came to town, and I think they scored an 8.3, which is great, like he says anything above 8 is really good, and it's true. They have really good pizza there. Pomo Pizza out here is decent. I met the owner years ago. He actually bought our Dolphin pool skimmer. That's how I met him. Not here. Remember me telling you that I've been down that aisle a few times? Yeah. It was one of them. It was one of them. So we'll just say that it was one of them.
Gotcha.
He was a really nice guy, and gave me a pizza. I was like, here, try the pizza. I'm like, shit. Took 2 pizzas home with me, and we ate it, and it was very good. But I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, if you make something at home a lot. You know, you usually don't go out to order it, so I don't go out to eat pizza very often. And if I do, you know, it's to go and see, like I said, my student, you know, and he's rocking it, and you know, the pizza was amazing from there. You know, it was really really good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't order that too often. So, and it's kind of funny because my wife is like, "You spoiled me." I'm like, "Well, that's what I'm supposed to do." You know what I mean? You know, it's like I spoil you. Well, that's a good thing. You know, that's the way I look at it. So,
Yeah, you chose to marry me, so I have to spoil you.
right? You know what? I can get you some napkins. I'm sitting here like animals. No, I'm and like move it and hide it on me, and he's like, "It's where it's always been." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
Well, then I never knew where it was.
Yeah.
I knew where it was when I found it. I don't know where it is now.
Makes
So
you
we'll
feel
do
like you
paper.
don't live here.
We'll do paper now. It is funny. It's kind of funny because like I do live here, but it's like I still don't know where stuff is.
Mhm.
I still don't know.
Every time.
Like
There's this video I just recently seen. This little boy, he's probably looking like what, 5, 6, maybe 7, and he's like being told, "Hey, grab me the remote right there on the couch arm," and he looks everywhere but the couch arm, and he's like, "Hayden, it's right there. Hayden, it's right there." And the caption basically reads, "You can tell a man to get something in the same place he's always found it, and he still won't find it."
Oh yeah,
That's why I keep everything where I know it's at. I'll be in the
right.
car, I'll be driving, and I know where my phone is, where everything is, where I could just be driving and grab it. If you move that even an inch to the right, it's lost.
Oh yeah.
In my eyes, it's lost. I don't know if that's just me.
It's like when you clean up. You know, you
Yep.
clean up and you organize, and then you're like, "Where'd everything go? I don't know where it went anymore." I remember. Oh God, the older I get, the more I forget. It's like you know, I remember the other night, actually last night, it was funny. Like I was go to say goodnight to my wife as you know going to bed and everything else, and then I'm like looking around, and she goes, "What are you looking for your phone?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Sweetie, there's a light in my hand. That's the phone." And she's like, "Oh yeah, okay." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So you know, it happens. You know,
Yeah.
you forget. It's like I've been there. It's like I'm looking around the room. And it's like looking for my phone. I'm like, it's in my hand. Like, you know, I think we all do that. They
I
just
would
do
say
stupid stuff.
I
You know.
would say you're aging yourself, but it's not just you. I
Mm,
do that too.
mm-mm.
At the ripe age of 25, I still do that.
We all do that. And it's going to happen. It's just going to get worse,
Oh yeah, easily.
progressively worse. But
Easily.
I know it is. It's already happening to me. So changed my name from Lou Swartz to Alzheimer's. I know that. So it's true. I forget. I mean, it's like I was saying earlier. It's like that's the only thing that runs in my family anymore. You know what I mean? So
Is it that bad?
yeah, my mom and my grandmom, yeah, they had it. So
And when
um,
do you know like it's clicking in?
you can just tell like you can tell like things you forget. Like, you don't remember this stuff. And it's like you know it's like because my wife will be telling me stuff. Is like we just did that a couple of days ago, and I'm like
Oh
you
no.
know like really like yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like but like 5 years ago, I remember. You know what I mean? I remember everything. But it's like 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago, not really. It's kind of a blur. And then he's like, and then it starts coming back to me in bits and pieces. But it's like, it happens, you know? It's like, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do about it, you know?
Mhm.
It's like, it's just, it's part of life. It's part of your makeup, you know what I mean? It's like, that's just your genetic makeup. So, yeah.
When I went to Kenya, and actually exactly a year ago from today, I went back. I was there for a month for like Christmas to New Year's, a little bit after, about a month. And I got to see my grandpa, and me and him were always like this. But the dude was like 90 something, and plus he forgot some years. That's the thing about Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have like those people in the village don't really have like a birth record. It's just like, oh, he was born somewhere around 1930s, right? I go there and I'm like, hey, like grandpa, it's me, it's Roy, and then you say like
Mm-hmm.
your Kenyan name, which is Kipkoech. Hey, it's Roy, like Kipkoech. That's how they remember you, like the tribal name. And then he sits there and he goes, "Who?" And then I walk away and he goes, "Oh yeah, like my best friend. Yeah, I remember you." And I was like, "Hell yeah, he remembers me. I don't know. He just needed a buffer a little bit more."
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
yeah, what are you gonna do? It's just one of those things where it is part of your genetic makeup, and it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know it. Between that and concussions, it's like, yeah, I'm double whammy right there. So I know it. You know, you just know.
But what sport would you do if you weren't playing football, right?
I used to play baseball. I used to like baseball, but I didn't. I just preferred football. I always liked football. It was always fun.
Looking back at it, that's one of the few sports that I regret not paying attention to earlier because I just became a baseball fan.
It's safer.
Ish.
It's safer.
Until you get smacked with a ball.
Well, even then, it's not. It's not repeatedly.
It's not banging your head on.
Exactly. It's not every single play that you get beamed or something like that in
Mhm.
baseball. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like you suffer concussions and whatever else, and yeah, you start to forget stuff.
You get a little slower.
Old age makes you slower, man. It's just like I always say, like in my mind, I feel like it's still running a 4.740, but the clock told me I ran a forever 40 the other day. Mm-mm. I know
Oh
my,
man.
I know I'm just dragging. It's like
Oh
my body.
man.
I look like I'm running and moving fast, but it's like, 6 point whatever. It's like,
It's like those videos you see of these guys getting chased by cops, and they think they are going 100 miles per hour, but there's no acceleration in their steps. But they're like pumping their arms like they're going, but their feet's just not going anywhere.
been there too.
Yep.
Well, it's usually in affected by things that you've partaked in, whatever, alcohol.
You're not lying.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You think you're Superman when you're drunk or high or whatever. It's like, the police camera footage proves wrong.
I actually messed up my back 2 days ago because I thought I could snatch something off like a couple of drinks of tequila. Dude, I hit it, and then on my way down, my body just kind of logged off like a Windows computer. Dun, 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 dun. Boom! Put a hole through my friend's wall. I looked at him and I was like, "I'm sorry, dude. It's all good. You thought you were Luke Cage, but you're not." How's it?
It's good. It's very good. You can't go wrong. I mean, it's like I said, it's a little dark, but it's dark on both yours and mine. So like the tomatoes just kind of charred up a little bit, but it's still good. I mean,
I think it all comes together so perfectly.
it's delicious. It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's crunchy. The whole nice bottom, no flop kind of a thing. I mean, that's good quality. What I mean? And then you bend that sucker, it's like there's nice crispiness to it. It's great.
That floppy pizza thing is New York, right?
Not really. I mean,
No.
it's kind of. I guess they do have like flop to it, but I think most of the things. You want to take a break?
Sure.
No. There we go. All right, so we're back. Um, yeah, we were just talking about the magical mushroom rides and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
as he burps, I gotta admit, it's like first trying even just the like edible cannabis and stuff like that is like completely different. But the mushrooms, yeah, it's just to me, it's like it's clarity. What I mean, it just kind of gives you a whole mindset for the next day or two or whatever.
100%.
It's like it's clarity. You just feel unburdened. Unburdened. There you go. As far as like troubles and whatever else it is, like, and we're not talking about while you're on it. We're talking about after days after weeks after. You just feel clear. It's just
You ever heard of well, two things. There's something that they say it's like you reliving your inner child. for like so long because you're so free spirited. There's no like inhibitions in your thinking and moving. You just trust yourself a lot more
Hmm.
after, and that's where the clarity kind of comes in. And then your body isn't it like an antioxidant too in its own way, shape, or form? Because it's
Since it's a mushroom.
yeah, so it kind of takes away the BS when it's digesting
Yeah, I
in your
mean,
body.
mushrooms themselves are great for your everything, your body, your everything. So just eating regular mushrooms, we're talking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what the thing with like lion's mane and those sort of regular mushrooms that that you see now in the supplements that they have, where it's not the whole you know I'm going on a trip kind of a thing. These are just regular mushrooms that just kind of help your digestion and
Yeah.
whatever else like that. And it's fantastic. It's great. I mean, it's they're a living organism, and it's like they've been here a lot longer than we have, and they're going to be here a lot longer after we're gone too. So
I can't even say that it's just now becoming more popular. I can just say people are becoming more aware of health. Since COVID times, I think I've seen it become more of like a norm where you're getting now these companies that are like decentralized or they're selling these gummies and stuff.
yeah,
Dude, my mom, a substance abuse counselor, brought a whole can of it at home and was like, "Oh, this is supposed to be good for you. Take like 3 of these for breakfast and lunch and dinner."
we talking just
Lion's mane.
okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
something that
and yeah. There's nothing wrong with that,
I felt good
Yeah,
every time. That was probably like one of the healthiest periods I had because I would wake up, do kickboxing. I did Muay Thai. I just went back to get back in. I'd go 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. to about 8:30, get home, eat breakfast, work at home before going to work. But then before I went to work, I'd take that. But my diet was so strict, like no gluten, nothing, just high proteins, this and that. Come home, eat a very light dinner, but then I'd also have like 3 of those gummies before I slept. Dude, I wake up
hmm,
feeling good.
yeah,
And I remember I had this moment where customers and even my coworkers are like, "Dude, you look healthy. Like,
yeah,
not just I know you feel healthy, but you just look healthy. I don't know what it is." And I was like, "Huh, thanks."
yeah. I don't know what it does for you as far as that's concerned, but I mean, if you feel better and it's like you feel the benefits for it, then why shouldn't you?
Yeah,
I think um, anything that you do that's more natural as far as treatments and stuff like that, I think it's better for you than being stuck on being big pharma's you know favorite new customer.
you could say that again.
So
There's a root in Kenya called arubaini. I
I'll let
wish, yeah,
yeah,
I wish Stan was here to talk about it more. But it's that literally means 40. That word means 40,
okay,
and it cures more than 40 diseases.
wow,
Like you can eat it, boil it up, drink it. It tastes like, oh my goodness, it tastes like piss. It tastes horrible,
yeah,
but it cures more than 40 diseases. And Stan's village had a guy who was an optician. And he said that nobody in that village ever wore glasses because anytime you felt any kind of eye problems, just go drink that. Instantly healed. And it would flush it out in a way, or you'd put your face in it and the steam kind of made you cry. And obviously, through your tears, all that stuff's coming out.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what? Where was this guy before I started wearing glasses? You know? So,
Well, it's never too late. Yeah, you try it,
I,
give it a shot.
I should.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
should.
why not? I
Little
mean, what are you gonna get here? And what's it?
Visine.
Well, Visine. I was gonna say LASIK or whatever.
Oh, the
To correct the
$10,000 surgery that you
I
still got to get redone in like 5 years.
which to me it just doesn't make any sense
It doesn't
whatsoever.
help.
It's like it's one of those things where they're doing it now, but it's like what about the 10, 20 years from now? And it's like how that affects your eyes because like we don't have that research kind of data.
Oh,
You're the guinea pig that's going to find out about it.
exactly.
So they don't care. It's like, hey, you want to get this? Fine. 20 years from
Is
now, you
it
got to come back.
is it really that new? LASIK
It's been
correction?
around for quite a while, but I mean, it's one of those things where when you were the first ones going in, and your eyes are like, wow, I can see 20/20, but it's like, but at the same time, it's like, what about the longer term, issues, if any? I don't know. I'm speaking about something that I don't know, but
I get what
um,
you're saying though.
it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to be that person to
Yeah.
to be the guinea pig and test this out for you.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it. So, um, and to me, it's like I don't care. Glasses are glasses, but I mean, if there's something that can like naturally cure or at least make your symptoms tolerable,
Uh-huh.
why shouldn't it be? What I mean? So, but there's no money in natural cures.
Never has been.
Nope. Nope.
There's a video on YouTube uh, on Robert F. Kennedy's YouTube. I'll have to send it to you to watch. He talks about that. It's
Oh, yeah.
literally him in front of a kitchen setting just like yours, and he has all these just junk foods and even things you wouldn't think is junk foods. You see string cheese, Cheez-Its, Cheetos, you see Lay's, you see the oils, you see all the pistachios, the cashews, all that stuff, Oreos. And he's just talking about it, and he goes, all these things you guys have been eating, Lunchables, you've been eating since kids, Capri Sun, you've been eating that since kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you go down the road, and it's something I noticed when I first moved here to the US. You go down the road, it's a year in, you've always been healthy, you've never gotten sick, you've always had 20/20 vision, you've never had stomach aches, no headaches, nothing. All of a sudden, your focus is short. All of a sudden, your vision gets worse. All of a sudden, you're having weight gain and weight loss problems, dramatic, like very drastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's that coming from? Well,
Yeah.
these guys got to make you sick for them to make money off you.
That's right.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. It is true though. I mean, you're not going to find a cure when it brings more money to continuously have patients. So, anyway. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a
No,
weird
no, no.
interesting tangent.
No, because it is one of those things. Because like you talk about the food and stuff that you buy from the store, and it's like the ingredients in this crust here, depending on if you're going to add whatever else to it, you know, should be 4 ingredients, maybe 5 if if you want to do oil or whatever it is like that. But typical bread, like French bread, there's 4 ingredients. Um, but if you go to the grocery store and you buy a baguette of French bread, it's not 4 ingredients. There's like all this stuff. Like for caking and to keep whatever. And it's like trying to justify using mono whatever. It's like it's whatever words they want to throw into there.
Yeah.
But it's like that's not necessary. It's not whatever. But it's one of those things where this is what's in our food and the food colorings and stuff like that's the one thing. It's like that's the worst thing that it's in the food. The red 40s and whatever
You
else.
took the words out of my mouth.
It's awful. It's awful.
I don't know if he's gonna see this video, but this is a funny situation that happened to me at work. New bartender comes in. We called him Dr. Umar because he's a brother, and he wears like 7, 8 jewels, like different necklaces, and he has like 10 of these bracelets in this hand and like 5 on this hand. Down to earth guy who's a good dude, but he always had a tendency of making drinks off menu. And so servers would come get these drinks, for example, a Mai Tai. A Mai Tai is like, you're going to do the grenadine. Pay attention to that one. You're going to do grenadine. You're going to do your 3 to 4 whiskeys. It's like a rums. Your 3 to 4 rums, orange juice, pineapple juice, float of Myers rum, and then a little bit more grenadine if you want to kind of give it that red. Sorry, yeah, right. To give it that red, yellow, orange, red, brown. Ticket comes up. He makes it. Server goes, "What is this?" So Mai Tai. Where's the red in it? I can do cranberry juice. No, you're supposed to do grenadine. Oh, I don't do grenadine because it has red 40. So he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about, but people around him are like, you're not the one drinking it.
Yeah, exactly.
That customer's drinking it. And I was like, damn.
And that's what they want. They want that flavor because it does have it has a weird, unique flavor. It's like we have a bottle in the refrigerator. It's like I'm not a big fan of it. I'm in the minority on this one, but that and red velvet cake is like it's chocolate cake with a ton of freaking red food coloring. And it's like I can't do it. I can't do it. Like no, like I'm gonna pick my poison. It's not gonna be that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the food colors. I'm gonna try to stay away from it. And it's like I eat stuff. It's like we're talking about getting the munchies. It's like I'll tell you right now, man. A bowl of not Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms, right?
Hmm.
I loaded with food coloring. It
For
was like,
sure.
and then it's like, and the next day it's like, oh God, I don't feel, I don't feel
Yeah.
good.
The
It's like,
blues, the purples, the reds, the
right,
pinks,
right,
the lime greens, and I'm like, I
yeah,
don't think I should be eating this.
yeah, yeah.
Apple Jacks, great
Apple Jacks, the
example.
same thing. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
the same food. It's the same food colorings and just god awful things that are in the food. Like, just make decent quality food first of all.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need the food colorings. Like, do I really care if it's purple or red?
It's just about making good quality food.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. But anyway, that's me.
Well, have you fasted before?
I used to. I mean, back in the day.
Oh.
Um, why? I don't look like it now.
I never said that. I never said that. You're
I'm
good.
I'm sitting fast at the dinner table. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't moving. So next course, bring it on. So
I involuntarily water fasted one day and it felt so good.
when you do something like that, it is a good thing because like your body does need to kind of cleanse itself.
Yeah.
And no matter you could eat as many salads as you want, that's not gonna pound out that god awful garbage out of your body. So but yeah, cleanse with water and don't eat anything all day. You're good.
You heard of the guy who went to the Amazon and ate nothing but fruit and was healed from cancer?
I did not.
For a whole year, all this dude ate was papayas, coconuts, mangoes, apples, oranges for a whole year. Fruit diet, worked out over there. Came back clean. No single trace of cancer cell in him.
I can believe it. It's just a matter of eating clean and eating right. Just
Yeah.
kind of staying away from the processed foods. I think that's one of the big things about this country is that our foods are always so processed. Um, and I was trying to work with local farmers to get like because they always have surplus food that doesn't get sold. Like you ever hear about the boxes of like 50 pounds of food for $10 or something. I mean, it's usually all the vegetables that are not the prettiest, because curved or whatever else like that. It's not the straight zucchini. It's not the bell pepper that's nicely shaped. It's usually the one that's kind of like bent over like that. But it's still bell pepper. It's still delicious. And they would sell these big boxes and stuff like that. I was trying to get that surplus food from the farm to the homeless places, giving the food away to people that are in need of this sort of thing, and they're like, no, we don't take that sort of stuff because like it's easier for us to shelf stuff that's the shelf safe sort of product that's going to be there that they can leave on the shelf for 2 years and it's perfectly fine. Whereas the stuff, the produce is like all very
Warped.
what was the word I'm looking for? Um, perishable. There you go.
Okay.
Very perishable. So it's one of those things where it's like they can't hold on to it for that long, and then they're going to wind up having to throw it out wherever. And then I guess a lot of people also complaining, oh, we don't want to do that because like, kids aren't going to eat it or whatever. It's like me growing up, it's like you either ate it or you didn't, or you're going to see it the next day. It's like, what am I having for breakfast? You're going to have dinner for breakfast because you didn't eat it last night. So I was like, um, it's like well, if you're hungry, you'll eat your food, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, but it's one of those things where it's like you got to kind of have those sort of foods available for people to eat, and give them the healthier choices. And that was kind of what I was hoping to do. But I understand their point, and the food places that don't want to take it. I get it. Not a lot of them have refrigeration to kind of keep all that stuff there, but even if they did it like once a week, where every Wednesday we're giving away the vegetables from whatever farms here, and then have the people get the box of fresh produce, and then let them eat it. If you showed them how to actually process it and cook it and serve it and make it taste delicious, I mean, it might change their mind on eating it. But
For sure.
it is just one of those things where it's like, and it's hard to do the right thing when people don't want to do the right thing too. So
Integrity.
it's kind of like with the people talking about like the free lunches for the kids in school. I kind of agree with that. Why shouldn't they? You know what I mean? But at the same time, it should be changed up from what they're getting too. I think that the kids should have what's that?
That food is horrible.
It is. It's bad. It's
That food is
horrible.
terrible.
Like the best thing was that rectangular pizza was just like, and that was garbage too.
That
But
was literally just like a cardboard
oh yeah,
with sauce.
sauce and what looks to be cheese.
It looks to be cheese with little dung pellets of sausage. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah,
that
yeah.
made my stomach hurt to think about.
That was it. But I mean, if you start like offering them better quality lunches and stuff like that, kind of, I think
Man,
it's one
that
of the.
dust is killing me.
I know, right? We might have to go inside. um, but I was just gonna say, it's like it's kind of like a car, isn't it? It's kind of like a car. If you put the dirty gasoline in your car's not gonna run well. But if you put the clean high octane whatever into your car's gonna run smooth. It's gonna perform the way it should. And it's the same with us. We're the exact same thing.
We really are.
You're a product of what you eat. So
100%.
yeah. So if you eat garbage,
You're gonna be garbage.
Basically, yeah.
You're gonna feel garbage.
You're gonna feel garbage. You're gonna just your work performance is gonna be garbage. But if you eat better and eat healthier, saying the guy that's over here, needs to lose some weight, but it's one of
Don't
those
throw
things.
yourself under the bus like that.
I'll stop that bus. I'll stop that bus. I'll be the ultimate speed bump for that thing. It's like the movie Speed. Just put me in front of it.
That's a great movie.
The movie would have been over. Lay me in front of it. Speed bump. Can't get over it.
You talking about the old Keanu Reeves?
Was it Keanu Reeves? It was Keanu Reeves and
Dude, he was so young you wouldn't think it's Keanu Reeves.
right. And what's her name?
I forget the girl's name.
Oh God.
It's not Halle Berry.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra, hi Sandra, if you're available, you can come on the show anytime. You eat some pizza. We'll talk about that movie too. I look better this way when I'm off camera, so it's good.
Man.
I seen that movie once. It was bad. It was. I hate to say it. You might have liked. I don't like it. So
I think I was so young when I watched it that I was like, wow. But like looking back at it, it wasn't like a great movie that was very well produced. It was just good actors.
Yeah. Well,
that's it.
If you rode a city bus in any big city, they go 55 anyway. They ain't going to slow down anyway. It's like they don't need this. You know what I mean? It's like ding ding. It's like you better get ready to roll, guys, because here we go. It's like tuck and roll because we're going to slow. We're not going to stop. Those buses just kind of, like you're just kind of you're hopping off and the ground's still moving outside. Like, oh God.
What was the plot again? There was a bomb.
They had to keep the speed up above 55 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
It was lame. It was lame.
And then you get to points where there's construction.
Yeah, so they jumped a bus across a thing. Yeah,
the production was horrible. The acting was great, but the production was boo-boo. Do you remember Speed 2, where it was a train?
Are you serious? I remember that there was a Speed 2. Why was I thinking it was a boat?
Speed 2. There might have been a Speed 3 then. If there was a boat, then there might have been a Speed 3.
I thought there was a boat because it was like, wasn't it like Liam Neeson or something?
There might have been a Speed 3.
No, maybe not Liam Neeson. Who was it? I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking of? I might be thinking of Die Hard.
Die Hard's a
Die Hard 3.
They were in like a ship.
Yeah, they were in a. Is that what it was?
No, there was a Speed on a boat.
Oh God!
There was a Speed on a cruise ship because it was bus, train in the LA Union Station, and then there was one where because I remember this scene very well. We got to go down to like 18 knots or speed it up, something like that.
Yeah. It was an American driving that boat. Like, we got to get down to 18 knots. That was a knot.
Yeah.
I got a shoe that's got a knot in it. Is that the same thing? No. No.
It's so funny you bring that up. There's been more and more videos coming out about like how twisted the American forms of measurements are. I think it's a Keenan and Keel play or something where they're talking about it, where they were like, we will measure drinks in pints while everyone else uses liters.
I think that was I want to say Saturday Night Live.
It was a skit.
I think it was a Saturday Night Live skit. Yeah. I think it was a Saturday Night Live skit. Yeah.
And he's like, what about meters and kilometers? And no. We will use miles.
Yeah, well, we'll measure things in feet. Right? Whose foot? You know? Yeah, I did see that. It was funny, man. That was a good skit.
And
I don't watch Saturday Night Live. I haven't watched that in years, but I did see that skit, and it was good.
yeah, it was
That was
pretty good.
that was a funny skit.
I hate that I just seen that recently though.
Yeah, it makes its rounds. Like it becomes
Yeah.
popular, and then people post it up. Um, and that's the thing is like when we're talking, social media and stuff like that. The one thing I can't stand is the social media.
Algorithm.
Well, that too, but I can't stand the videos of somebody watching a video and then reacting to the video. And it's like, you know what I mean?
It's never made sense to me.
It's dumb. It's like, oh, you're shocked. Oh, you're angry. Oh, you're this or that. Well, so am I. But why am I watching your reaction to get a reaction? It's like it's
Crazy to
dumb.
think that.
Somebody makes money off of this.
Yeah, and it's wild to think there's a market for that. Like my nieces, nephews, my youngest, kids, my neighbor's kids, and every child that I know, like when I say child, I mean somebody who their balls hasn't even dropped yet. I mean even them too, from like 16 or like younger. But like they enjoy this. Let me go click this Minecraft, Call of Duty, um, a Speed 1 and 2 and 3 reaction to that scene where they jump over it. And it's like, there's
It's
really a market for that?
it's dumb.
Like, I'm
It's
not
dumb.
knocking it, get your bread, but
Yeah, I mean,
who let them do that?
I don't get it. It's reaction video watching a video. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I could do that staying at home. It's like, watch a movie with everybody and, oh, when the scary part comes, I bet everybody gets scared. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's dumb. It's
I,
just dumb. I
I
don't get
think
it.
this is
I don't get
where
it.
it goes back to the conversation of why I think this show will do so well. It's like the originality behind it. While everyone's doing this, you're standing out here. Because even though this is what everyone's doing, who's to say that out of this group of everyone who's probably being sheep doesn't actually have their own audience, which they specifically like that? A great example is like, going back, I know you're going to like talk about what I do, but it goes back to like the conversation I have with my team in the music and media like industry. And even my label tells me this. Like, I don't know if I told you, I signed on to the label last year.
No.
Yeah,
We haven't, like I said, we haven't seen each other in 5.5 years, man.
yeah, man. So my first, I think when I moved to Arizona is where I kind of like took a couple steps back as far as like how I want to do music, because that was like my first year and a half of me actually taking it seriously. And then 2020 came in, and I'm not putting out more, and I was offered a deal that I signed in 2021, and that was where I kind of started to learn because I'm now around these people in the space, the publicists, the curators, the I don't know what the hell you want to call them, just the inner people, not like the producers, the rappers, the faces. It's not
Hmm.
them anymore. Like you're talking to people in the space, and they talked about that so much. It's like one thing that I think they told me this. One thing I think that you're starting to realize more of, Roy, is like you don't need a million fans to make $1 million from this music thing and live a very fulfilling life as a musician. We can even talk about as a cook, because the guy who was my, I can't say who's my advisor. I just happened to get like a consultation from him, and he talked about that. A cook, a writer, a doctor, like a consultant, or like a psychologist. You don't need to have the whole world love this thing. You just have to do that one thing that makes you stand out as like, hold on, that's them. For example, like I know a guy out there right now. I can even say that for myself. Like I would rather have 100 to 1,000 very, very loving, honest, engaging, original, authentic, organic fans than have the whole world love me. Because at the end of the day, who's to say that that wasn't just 100 people who thought it was cool, and 100 more thought that what they thought was cool, and out of that 100, another 200, and out of that 200, 400, and at that point, it's like, do you think it's cool, or are you only thinking it's cool because everyone thinks it's cool?
Well, that's the whole thing. Is like, I guess that's what the whole thing about being, fandom is. It's like you join the bandwagon and become whatever fan of whoever. It's like,
Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, I can see that. People jumping on the bandwagon just to be a part of it. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of like a sports team, especially out here in Arizona. Like nobody's, you know, like you got the diehard Cardinal fans. You know what I mean? That's great.
Yeah.
But then you have the other people that'll join on. When they're doing well. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, where do you know, you call yourself a fan, but you're not around when the team's not doing well. It's like I never see you out there, Rick, holding up the sign. Yeah, go Cardinals. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're 4-13. It's like, yay.
Yeah.
You know,
How many Super Bowls do they have? Oh.
yeah. Well, they've been the one. They've been the one.
Oh man.
They could have been the more if they'd have bought the tickets, but
Oh God, I love.
it's like Cowboy fans. How are the Cowboys going to get to the Super Bowl this year? Oh, they're going to buy tickets. So,
Oh,
hey,
shots fired.
shots fired. They don't care. Cowboys fans. They haven't.
Well, first they got to fix that stadium.
Why? Because they can't see. It's like Jerry left the curtains up.
Dude, $9 billion, $10 billion worth of a team, the most valuable team in the world. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
And you got metal sheets falling from the top.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. That was good.
Dude,
That
what?
was good there.
That'll make no sense at all. But the same thing can be said for like most LA teams too. Like we're good, honestly. I'm an all LA team fan, but sometimes I'm just like, man, maybe we do just have money to just blow on people.
Well, there's teams that have money that just hemorrhage money just for the ability to do it. Like what was it? The Mets recently.
That was insane. Juan Soto.
Yeah, it was like 50-something million dollars a year or something like that,
Dude,
isn't it?
I saw the
It was
breakdown.
15 years and what was it, 760?
Mm-hmm. Lou, that's crazy. Dude, that is crazy.
That's
$97 a minute.
That's insane.
What was it? Almost $15,000 an hour. I was like, that's crazy, man.
It's insane. The money that those teams have to hemorrhage, it's insane. And then most of them, like if they can acquire somebody like that, they're doing it also so other teams won't be able to. You know what I mean? Like we'll spend more money on you, overpay for you, just to lock you in to make sure you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Which, I mean that's part of winning as well. It's like making sure that your opposition can't match that. I mean, the money the Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, Phillies, Braves, I guess even too. I mean, those are big five teams right there in baseball, and it's like the amount of money that they have to throw at those players. It's like
Otani's, what was
yeah,
it,
they're gonna
700 million?
yeah, they're gonna lock them in. Nobody else is gonna get a chance to get them, and it's like, how are you gonna match that? How's a smaller team gonna ever match that? How is Milwaukee gonna match against New York? It's like they're not gonna have that kind of money.
Yeah.
But I guess if you can get that kind of money, why shouldn't you? Until they change it, unless they go to the same thing as like the NFL does, where they set, this is what teams get to spend, and that's all you
Like
get.
a cap.
Yeah, put a cap on it because like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make up for that kind of money?
Baseball too, huh? Because
it's baseball.
Does NBA has a cap? Do they?
I don't know.
I actually got to look that up.
I don't know because like there's some teams that just spend money. I mean,
look at the Suns.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's aggressive. He's aggressive, and good for him. I mean, you want something and you're willing to spend it. He got it.
Yeah, he's insane.
Good for him. I mean, it's good to have an owner that wants to win and not just be relevant. It's nice.
Crazy though.
But it's boys and their toys. You know what I mean? It's like like this guy owns a NBA team. And he's putting all of his money into that. It's like it's like guys with cars. It's like they're gonna sock all their money into that. That's what they do. That's what they like.
It's so funny you bring that up. The amount of money I spent on that car. Jesus.
The money that we spend on each car, man, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I hate that I feel good about it. Like I get out, I look at my car, and I'm like, yeah, you were just a rust bucket until I put that much money
See,
into you.
there you go. But there's satisfaction, and that's why people, guys that build the cars and restock, refurbish them and everything else like that. Like that's satisfying. It's like I took something and made it into what it once was.
Yeah,
And that's cool.
yeah.
I'll admit that it's expensive,
Oh,
and
it's
and
absolutely expensive.
there's guys, when I go and cater over their house, and it's like they got 9 cars out in the garage, 3 of them are on lifts that they'll never drive.
Uh-uh.
They're just on lifts because they look cool, and then stiff me on the tip. I'm like, all
Every time,
right.
every time, and you ask them about the car, and they go, "Well, I spent about $1,000 on the carbon hood, almost five." Oh, okay. Here you go, bro. Here's $5. Thanks for
Oh,
the food.
I got you your $5 story on that one. You ready for this one? This is a good one. This is
Oh
a true story,
no.
man. I catered a Mother's Day party. It was for 10 people. It was years ago. So, and it was dirt cheap anyway. It was, whatever. It was the bill came to $495. I'll never forget this. $495. And he hands me $500, and he pauses for a second. And he goes, why don't you go ahead and keep the $5, right? And I'm like, oh gee, mister, $5, no fooling. It was like, like old school 50s movies right there, like Dennis the Menace, like, oh, no fooling, a whole nickel. He gave me a 1% tip. $495. You gave me $5 and told me to keep the change. It's like, wow, that
Was
almost
he
could.
older?
No, he was probably my age, maybe a year or two older, but I mean,
Wow.
that wasn't, what I mean, and that was, early 40s when I was doing, when I did that party, maybe late 30s, early 40s, but I mean, dude just didn't.
Wow.
He gave me $500,
How do you
and
feel about that? How do you feel about tip culture?
that's another thing I got to do, I guess. I used to not want to do it because, like, I always felt that tip was you earn it. You know what I
You
mean?
do.
You earn it. You don't always get it because if your service is awful, as a waiter or waitress, if the kitchen has a bad night on certain whatever, it doesn't come out as good or whatever, like it affects their tips, and I get that. And it's never guaranteed, but at the same time, now most people are starting to roll 20% tip into it no matter what. And
Mm,
I kind of
I'm against that.
I'm against it, but now I'm also like, I'm not turning out garbage food. So I'm starting to add on to it no matter
Okay.
what.
Okay.
Because like I know what I'm turning out, and I'm not giving you crap, and I'm not giving you stuff that I'm not proud to put in front of you and say I made this. This is all homemade. It's all made from scratch.
So it's either you tax them up front based on what you think you're valued at,
Exactly.
rather than them deciding what you're valued at.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And
That
I
makes sense.
and I used to do it that way, where I would wait to see what people would tip, because sometimes they tip over. You know what I mean? They'll tip 25, 30%, because like they're like, this is amazing, this is great. But now it's just kind of like they just kind of, like, okay, great, thank you. It was wonderful. It was delicious. And I was like, all right, looks like I'm gonna leave like that. And there's
Yeah.
no handshake with the, $100 or whatever in there. Like back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, you get that $100 handshake. It was good.
It was really good.
It was nice. It
Or
was
they just
really
kind
good.
of slide it under the plate and they
Yeah,
come and pick it up
exactly.
later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Chef, you did a wonderful job. Hand you that, that nice little handful of mayonnaise, and you just go back then to the kitchen and you're like, split it with your cooks, and I was like,
I think people are too entitled now more than ever. And I say this as a bartender. I see it every day. Servers are too entitled to a tip. Bussers too entitled to a tip. My own bartender is too entitled for a tip. But bro, you showed up, asked them what they want to drink, flipped the bottle upside down, said, "Is that it?" and have a good day. You didn't make them feel welcomed. You didn't make them feel like they just left their house to come and spend $10,
yeah,
$15 on a glass like this that they could have spent it on a bottle and drank at home. Like create the atmosphere that makes this person say, "Huh, you know what? Here, you can have that." And honestly, I'm not gonna act like I'm the greatest bartender ever, but I just understand. It goes back to even like when we were cooking. I just understand that like the one thing that set the tone for me was like seeing like you, Chef Anthony, I mean Chef Steven sometimes too, honestly. He was also very like into what he was doing.
Hmm.
That like seeing that was something that like set the tone for me for like whatever the hell you go do, you need to be all in because you don't deserve that extra $10, that extra that. You don't deserve somebody coming up to you and being like, good job on the food. But if you show it in your performance, then guess what? You're gonna get paid extra. And I feel like that translated to me in like bartending and in the music, um, um, and just a lot of these different things. Like just going out somewhere and somebody being this happened to me actually at the bar. I was singing a song while I was like making drinks. I had like 3 cans of beers in my hands like this, and I was serving this person while serving this vodka cran. And this guy heard me singing. He goes, "Hey, bro, was that you?" And I go, "Yeah." "Hey, bro, what's this? You already paid your time." "That's yours, man." There's 5 other bartenders. Why'd you do that? "Oh, dude, you look like you love what you're doing, man, and like everyone really enjoys being around you, bro. I don't see why I shouldn't pay you more. Like you've set an atmosphere for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
So of course I'm gonna pay you more." And then there's that person across the bar, Scrooge, or like a Nanny McPhee, who just completely hates their day, and they're like, "Oh, I should have gotten that." No, you shouldn't.
sure.
Because I don't walk in there saying I should get it. I walk in there saying, you know what? I'll put my best foot forward knowing that I'm gonna get it. But it's different when it's like your business, like you, and you're putting passion into it, and you know you're valued at a certain amount that like, all right, just pay this amount. I won't ask you for anything more. Then it's up to them to be like, give them an extra 10, 15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's it's
that's, yeah, I don't know.
it's nice to kind of reward people that will work hard for what they get.
Yeah.
I have a story real quick about that. It's like I worked at a place back in Pennsylvania that did a banquet upstairs, and then at the end of it, the client basically went around, shook everybody's hand, the wait staff and everything, gave them $100, and the
Damn.
wait staff pulled tips for the party. So then,
Shit sucks.
so he shook all the wait staff's hand, right? Gave them all $100 each. So it was, 6 or 7 of them. So he gave out $600 or $700, whatever it was. So at the end of the night, they pulled tips and everything else. So they put it together, and they're like, I don't remember his name, but he's just like, like, I didn't get $100. Like, we know you got $100. Like, no, I didn't get $100. So he kept his $100 and put it in the thing. So then he got each from everybody else.
Oh
So he skimmed from
no.
everybody else's tips, a little extra cash, and then kept that $100 bill to himself.
Well, karma.
Oh
It's gonna
yeah,
come back and
oh
bite
yeah,
him.
oh yeah. He was a dirtbag. So
Yeah.
to put it nicely,
It's gonna come back and bite him.
eventually it will. But yeah, that was so long ago. God knows what he's doing now. So, but yeah, it's just crazy. All right, let's click off here. Come on. Actually, found those mushrooms on Facebook of all places.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so they work well. You ever had this before?
Never.
Reed's ginger ale.
Anything's better than Canada Dry.
It, that's just very bland. You know what I mean? Just very, very bland. It's not bad, but this has got a little bit more bite to it. There's some ginger ales that are out there, or ginger beers, or whatever you want to call it, that are just like, they're spicy, dude. Like straight up just ginger punch to the face, man. But they're good.
Like the company Cock and Bull is what we serve. Yeah, no. Cock and Bull ginger beer.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Um, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's nice. It's refreshing.
That's
Nice little kick of sugar. All natural.
nice. That is super
Reeds.
nice. Breathe. It's just
Right.
Reeds.
And now back to our sponsor. Okay. Back in the day when it's like, this show's sponsored by Winchester cigarettes. It's like, oh God, Winchester for that cool, refreshing feeling that burns your lungs, but at the same time makes you feel great.
Oh, commercials are so much better.
They used to do commercials like oh, we're not geared toward getting kids to smoke. It's like, you guys had Flintstones. You had Fred and Barney outside smoking, Winchester or whatever they were smoking. It's like, oh my God. hey Fred, when I'm not, I was like,
God,
it's
dude.
true. It's like, good lord, is this straight up geared toward kids? It's like, there's no way you can deny that. It's like,
Making smoking cigarettes look cool.
well, that and the fact that you had the fake little candy things, that the little candy. You ever see those?
Smarties.
Little candy cigarettes.
What?
Yeah, they're little candy cigarettes. They're about yay big. It looked like a piece of it looked like a really tight rolled joint. To be honest with you, it was really really long, super thin. At the end, it had the little red number 40 dipped in it, so it looked like a lit cigarette. And it was just like it was a god awful piece of chalk candy, and you just walked around looking like it was a pack of cigarettes. It was like literally looked like a pack of cigarettes, and like I said, but it was candy. They also had the bubble gum wrapped up, or the bubble gum was wrapped in a piece of paper, and then it was loaded with a little bit of like powdered sugar inside of there. So then you got one shot at it. So when you wanted to look cool in front of the girls, you just go and blow, so it looked like smoke coming out of it, and then yeah, and it was just a piece of gum.
What's the name of this company?
Oh, they still make it. You can go to like the old time candy stores and stuff. They sell them. I don't remember who makes them. It's probably the same,
Hell no.
probably the same company that makes like Necco wafers and stuff like
Oh my
that. So
god.
it was awful, but it's part of nostalgia of growing up. It's like I remember it.
Couldn't be me.
I remember it. I
hate
remember it well.
Dude,
Now, cigarettes are awful.
Yeah, cigarettes
They're
are
awful. You can't escape it. It's always around you. It's like it stinks. You stink. Like, oh, not a fan. Not a fan. Anyway, it is. It's tasty. It is tasty. We don't want to look at the ingredients, but yeah. Actually, it's not bad. Cane sugar. There you go. If you're gonna have anything, at least it's cane sugar instead of like high fructose or whatever. So
That's the sugar they use in Kenya. This has got cane sugar. But anyway.
There you go. All right. So we brought you on here to talk about yourself. So
I suck at talking about myself, but if you ask,
know,
I'll tell
right?
you.
I know, right? I don't like doing it either. I don't like doing it either. When people always ask me, what? Tell me about yourself. And this is like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Like, how about let's talk about something else? You know what I mean?
Or like kind of like leading into the conversation. Perfect. But no, I feel like I'm getting better at it. Like when people ask me about myself. I don't know where to start. I'm a musician. I'm an entertainer. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. Uh, so many different things, but I guess I'm just like an artist, an absolute artist. I started off drawing when I was a kid. I used to draw a lot. I used to draw a lot actually, like just randomly. I'd always pay attention to what was going on in class, but I would tune out what I didn't care about, and I'd pick up what I need to, get it done, and then get back to drawing. Pick up what the teacher said, get back to drawing. They called on me. Yeah, it was that. Okay, get back to drawing. And I'd even practice my handwriting and stuff. So then I steered away from that. I was like, I mean, I guess I still kind of do it. Like I'll still doodle around and stuff. And then out of nowhere, I also used to do something when I was a kid where I would hum every time I was eating. Like if I was eating this pizza, like way back in the day, you'd notice I'd be eating and humming a certain song. And my maid called me out on that one day and was like, why do you always hum when you're eating? And I was like, oh, I never noticed that. She goes, you always do it. And you don't know. Like you won't stop until you finish your plate. And I'd always clean my plate. Dude, like clean. Like not even those particles are on there. I was just so focused on finishing the project, I guess to say. Um, and then my mom was a church choir teacher, started getting into that, just knowing that she did music. My brother had an iPod when he was in Kenya and he wanted to do music. I never really cared to do music. I just really liked the idea of sounds, dancing, music, and art, just being expressive. And I remember my brother once said, I want to do music. And my dad was like, you're never going anywhere with that. And that just kind of hit me. I was like, well, you're going to tell him that. Shit. And I would do it for him.
Right.
So going into high school, it was a subconscious. How can I put it? It was a subconscious, like, incentive to really go hard in music and, like, do it. And then joined a church choir, learned how to play the piano, did the choir in school, the high school choir, did a bunch of acting and Aladdin for the medleys that we did. And then I just kind of steered away from the church choir because I was like, this is kind of boring because I found out I can smoke weed and rap. So I
Yeah,
started
yeah.
freestyling. And out of freestyling, years pass. Started freestyling turned into free writing turned into full songwriting turned into me actually getting paid for it, doing shows, recording myself, making beats. And out of that, I was just like, yeah, this is my cup of tea. I'm an entertainer. I'm definitely like a, I'm definitely an entertainer. I bring people together. Then I signed my first label deal in 2021. So that's 2, 3 years after I started taking it seriously. That was an Israeli label. They did that was fun. That gave me a lot of traction. Stopped doing that. Or not really stopped. They just kind of shifted their whole thing. Joined a collective. Left that. A couple months later, my friend signs onto a label. He sends my song out, my last EP, to like 3 different labels. 2 of them really liked it, but the third one was like, who the hell is this kid? Which is the one he just signed on to. Dude calls me and he's like, dude, I just listened to your 5 songs on this project called Afro Johnny Bravo, and holy shit. I even went through your discography, dude. What the hell? How are you not? I was just like, I don't know. like,
Waiting for you to call me,
like,
huh?
you tell me. I guess
Right?
I've seen the highest of highs that I can't say the highest of highs, but I've seen my own highest of highs. I've made it multiple times. I've lost it multiple times. That I'm just at a point where like if I can do this and I can do this and I can't do that, then I guess there's nothing that's impossible from there. Like there's just only levels to it. You can either be the worst of the worst of the worst, or you can be the best of the best of the best. It's just a matter of like where you're looking at it. And as soon as I signed onto the label, I took a couple steps back in the last year, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna connect with people who are doing something cool in the community. I'm gonna use my music as something for me to build a platform so they can be seen too. Got a People's Choice nomination about 2 months ago in Kenya. That was super cool. I didn't expect that email. Don't care if I won or not. It was just like more so like the I hate to say, but it's like the bragging rights. Like my nuts hang lower knowing that I'm like nominated the most promising artist, and now I'm just honestly testing myself and creating the best music ever. Now, yeah, that's where we're at. And now I'm just working on so many different projects, connecting with different producers, publications, artists, and I don't know. It feels like I'm saying I don't know because it feels like no big deal to me, and because I want to do so much cool stuff that it doesn't feel like anything big to me until I do that.
Sure.
You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Sure.
It doesn't feel like anything until I do that. Once I do that, and even until then, I'll be like, what's next?
Well, it's exactly it. You don't ever reach a point where it's just like this is the pinnacle of where I want to be. You know, is that you can
Yeah,
always dream bigger. You know, and
yeah,
I think that's as long as you keep striving to be better. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think in any industry, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? I mean, you can kind of call it in. You know, we've all worked with people like that,
Yeah.
and you can just call it in and just kind of get a paycheck and be happy with that if that's what you're looking for, or you can strive to be the best you can be at
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. So
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. It's like that's what makes you better than the other people that are you know against you, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So
Just
yeah, you
pushing
just
the pin every time.
yeah, don't ever just call it in. Don't ever just be satisfied with what you did before.
Yeah.
We're just talking about that as far as resumes. Like don't be satisfied with what you did yesterday. Always try to do better than what you're doing. So like
I'm so glad you brought that up, Chef, because the same 2 days ago that I was telling you about where I messed up my back. What's today? Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
So was it Monday? Sunday? It was Sunday. I happened to link up with one of my friends who like he likes to freestyle, and anytime we're together, he's not a musician, but he likes music, and he always wants to freestyle with me. We were freestyling, and keep in mind, I haven't freestyled like that publicly in a while. I used to be badass. I used to be insane, dude. I would be at a party, like like I don't stop, and the beat would keep going. I keep going. I keep going. And I use this tone and go into this genre, and my voice would do this, and everyone across the party is like, "How the hell is he doing that?" And I couldn't do that anymore. And a piece of me, like, it was like two different worlds. A part of me was like, "What happened to you? Am I not doing this enough?" And another side of me was like, "Nah, you outgrew that. Like, you are making songs now. You are not just your typical freestyler. You are creating a world through a song." So every day now, whenever I finish writing a verse or a hook, I always read through it one time, a second time, a fourth time, fifth time, and then I go through the whole thing as the song that is, not just nitpicking lines. And I'm like, yeah, no one can do this like me.
There you
Like,
go.
I hate to say it that way, but it took that day on Sunday for me to like do these last few days, even before I came here. Like last night, I didn't sleep because I was going through all these things, and I was like, "Damn, dude, you've outdone yourself in a way you never thought you would." Like, what makes you think you were always gonna be Roy the freestyler? Like, sure, I can do it, but I don't really care to prove a point anymore, except to
Right,
myself. Like,
right. Well, there's always that fine line between confidence and arrogance, and you just kind of, as long as you stay on that one side, you're perfectly fine.
yeah,
Once you become arrogant, then it's like, mm. But always stay confident. Always know that what you can do. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
And nobody can take that away from you. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
It's like, this is what I bring to the table. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being, you know, uh, proud of your abilities and like I said, your talents and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
like, never, you know, nothing to be ashamed of.
I've had a lot of people had to remind me that. More so in the last like 2024 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my songwriting started getting really good after 2021, like mid 2021, because that was when I was just actively going to different places, experiencing different artists, places, meeting so many different people. So when I was like getting out of the state to do shows and this and that. So after there is when I was like, okay, all right, like there's more to it. Like, you're good, but there's someone out there who's better than you at this, but nobody can beat me at this. But how can I wear that without, like letting my nuts hang too low?
Sure, sure,
And
sure.
so like that was that for me was like the perfect fine line. Like, and hearing people repeat that to me, like, why don't you promote this more and do this more? And it's like, because I know what I have and what I want to do. I don't want to be, and I hate to say it like this because we live in such an interesting space in media where you have to be in front of people's faces, but like there's a certain way I want to express the quality of what I do without being quote unquote arrogant. People also remind me like you kind of gotta like you're saying, find that perfect line of confidence and arrogance. And I feel like now more than ever is where I'm finding that confidence part of things, where even to go as far as talk about this whole story this much on camera or even to people took a lot. You know what I mean?
It's hard to talk about yourself.
I,
It really is.
I can't.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I mean, that shows that you're humble. You're not about you know I'm my shit don't stink kind of a thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's like people much rather deal with down to earth, humble than arrogant. The Hollywood elite kind of thing.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like
Mhm.
people don't want to deal with that anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
I've noticed that more than ever, and not just in like the music space, but even in like the food industry and the clothing industry and the in everything actually. It's like nobody really cares about somebody who's like talking about themselves more. They care about the originality. In a time where originality is kind of scarce, people are scared to be themselves more than anything else. That's how I feel, at least. And I think that's what kind of sets me apart as a musician that I am. Yeah, damn, that was a very well put together thought.
yeah. There you go.
Damn, I just thought about that. But yeah, that was that's kind of what sets me apart. It's like to go as far as to make a song about something I was drinking all day in 2023 and call it that. and the company hit me up and being like, "Yo, that song was crazy. We would like to give you a sponsorship as a brand ambassador, but we're just not offering that yet. But here's a 24 pack of the same flavor and some stickers you can use. Thank you." Did it become anything? It became a moment in my life where I was like, if I can do that, how many more times can I do that over and over and over and over again with different brands and this and that? How many more times can I create a world out of something that's me?
I think as long as you you like the product, you know, what I mean,
Right.
don't sell out just for, you know, what I mean, like there's certain people that'll sell out for whatever.
Yeah.
But I agree. It's like I enjoy it. You know, it's like yeah, like enjoy this. You know,
Reads.
right? Reads. Hello, Reads. We know you got some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Feels
for
great.
sure, for
Great.
sure.
And we're drinking all just straight by itself. Reads straight up. You know what I mean?
Reads. It's good for you.
Hey, it's Reed's neat. There's no ice. There's nothing in it. Right? This is perfect. You know?
Reads the only thing you need to help you with your thirst after weed.
Yeah. Oh,
That was a good one.
that works too.
That
Oh,
was a
it
good one.
does. It does. It works well.
Write it
Yeah.
down. You can keep that one.
Right?
You can keep that one.
You know what goes
You don't
good
gotta
with
quote me.
grass? Ginger. Oh God.
Oh man.
That would be there's a commercial right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, are you at home? Are you at high? Are you high? Are you sitting at your mother's basement? Is your hand down in front of your pants?
Are you home? Are you at high? Wait, it's the
That's
other way around.
that's how all those commercials you know get started. You know, it's like the 3 a.m. Commercials for driving you know big rigs and stuff like that, or hey, you sitting at home in your mom's basement and your hand down in front of your pants. Whoa, we got a culinary school for you. Yeah.
Oh, so do you know how you were talking about earlier in the oven? You were talking about how if you weren't cooking, you'd be a comedian.
Yes.
So just as much as if I wasn't doing music, I know I'd probably be doing something like acting. I know I'd probably be doing something like I won't say a comedian, but I'd probably be doing something like acting. Again, something that's still expressive, something that still allows me to be in front of people and be me, use my brain and
Yeah.
personality to be of service to people. That's what I would do. So it can even go as far as even you doing this show, right? And
Sure.
like just being you.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
It's all I can be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
It's all I can be.
and you know, cracking jokes here and there and saying things that nobody really would say. And I think that's what sets people apart more than ever. And even when I'm like, for example, I'm writing a song, I can write a line that sounds hard by the book. Oh, that's a cool line. That's fucking corny. I'm sorry. That's corny. This is me. And it's around that same premises, but it's not corny. I'm going with this. So that when people go and listen to it, they're like, he reminds me of the, and this is something I love hearing this because people think I get insulted. They always say, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. But they're like, hey, hope you don't take this the wrong way. But like, you sound like him, but you remind me of this artist, but nothing like him. It's just the same vibe,
Yeah, the same feel that you get from
the
someone.
same feel that you get from certain artists, but like I know that's Roy. So even like when I'm writing down, my favorite thing to do these days, actually more than ever, is writing down visuals, scripts for like my small little Instagram like short videos. Like I, I had one that did very well. Like it's crazy how well the song is doing today. The first song on my last project, it's called A While, and I literally wrote the song around the idea of keeping something for a while and cherishing something for longer than shorter. A line that I hate to say, but a line I don't hate to say it, but it's just something that I haven't really said publicly. But a line that I told a girl through a text, and I was like, "Damn, that'd be a sick way to start a song. I might keep you around for a while." But
Yeah.
long story short, the red car, it was super stock. I just got it, and I sat there, and I was driving from Casa Grande to home, and I'm driving, and I'm thinking of a video script, and I was like, why don't I create like this 20-30 second video short that is so me that nobody can differentiate from it, but it still has influences from this, and that. And I think I'll send you the video, but I remember it was somewhere along the premises of me doing like the Hollywood '80s tape stamp thing that they do. All right, take
Yep.
one.
Yep.
And then I ended up like writing something down that was like, I remember right when I did it, I saw the whole thing and I went and presented it to my videographer and he's like, easy. Dude, we did the thing in less than an hour. Ended up being my most recognized short in the last year. Hey, aren't you that one guy who made that line that said,
Yeah.
"You're Afro Johnny Bravo, you like your cars like you like your women neglected?" And I go, "Oh, shit. Yeah, that's me. That's me." And they go, "Dude, why you like kind of shy about it?" And I was like, that was just something like an experiment gone right. But, and they're like, "No, but that's you. That's what made you stand out."
Yeah.
So, I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I suck talking about myself. Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ.
Most people aren't good at talking about themselves. I'm not good at talking about myself. It's like when I go for a job interview and stuff like that. It's like, so tell me about yourself. Oh God, what do you want? You know, I was like, what do you want to
That's
know?
exactly what I
I
tell
can't,
people.
I don't like it. It was like tell me about the, you know, I was like, come on,
Yeah.
seriously, just whatever.
I just had this convo with you can even put this on the video, I don't care. I just had this convo with a girl this last weekend. She's like, "Yeah, so tell me, why are people telling me you feel like this about me and what aren't you telling me?" And I was like, "What do you want to know?" She goes, "Well, I don't know, just like tell me." And I was like, ah, take this how you want, but I suck at this part.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Thanks for being honest, but like at some point you're gonna have to tell me." And I sat there and I like looked outside the window and I was like, "All right, here we go. Yes, yes, I want to be with you," and blah 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 blah. She was like, "Was that hard?" And I was like, "Kinda."
Yeah.
That was kind of tough because usually I just like when it's natural and it just happens. But she was like, "No, but that's one thing you'll learn about me. Like I like to get it out, and that's where probably where we click more
Well,
because I'm this and you're that."
that's what most men are. We're very stoic. You know, we don't give out the emotional stuff. You know, it's like if like I can write a good text, but if you ask me to say the same thing to you face to face, I'm like,
Nope.
nope, can't do it.
Nope.
Can't do it. It's like,
I
won't.
gotta practice before I go tell you.
Oh yeah, it's just straight dead face. I'm like, I can't. You know, well, how can you can write those things? Because I can do it that way, but I
Yeah.
can't verbally express it. I think most men are that way. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the way that we are. You know,
Man, a few
it's
words,
true.
basically. It's very
It's
true. It's
very
very
true.
true.
It's very true. But that's you know that's just I think that's just the way that we're brought up in this world. You know, it's like like don't cry, don't show emotion, don't do this, don't do that. It's like we don't get in touch with that sort of thing. So
Does it get easier when you get older?
nope.
Really? I would have thought it would. No, not at all.
Nope. No, you just get more of a willingness to say what's really on your mind, which usually you should probably censor,
Oh wow.
because you know how it is. You know, it's like
No,
the
yeah.
angry, you know, they call the angry old man and stuff like that, and it's like he's not necessarily angry. He's just telling you exactly how he feels. You asked, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
hey, how do you feel about this? Ah, it's a piece of crap. How can you, how can you say that? It's like you asked. You know, like, I'm not. You know, like I'm not getting any younger, and I don't care. You know,
Oh man.
I think that's the thing where you get to the point where it's like you get to a point in your life, and you're like, I don't care anymore. You know, it's like I mean, I care, but not that much. You know,
Yeah.
like your emotions don't affect me. They don't
Yeah.
affect me. You're this, you're that. Whatever. Still watching the game.
I'm just now finding that, dude. I'm literally just now finding that idea of like, okay, like somebody could say this. My brother taught me this. Crazy, because I'm becoming more and more like him. Like we're polar opposites so much, but we always have that moment where we're just like the same. And he was like, "Roy, you're smart, but there's times where you're not thoughtful." And I was like, "That is a great way to put it." And he goes, "The older you get, the more you'll realize you really got to think before you do and say a lot of things as a man in this world." And I was like, "Holy shit." So anytime somebody says something to me, I have this moment where I pause
Formulate a thought.
Formulate a thought. I mean, there'll be multiple times where we'll have witty moments. Like obviously, when you're, like how me and you are, there's certain conversational points when you're with somebody where it's just like quick fire,
Oh
and
yeah,
people are like, "How are you so quick?" And I'm just like, just felt right to say it.
sure.
But more times than ever, even in that split second of quickly doing it, there's still a moment of like, I listened so well that I'm still able to process that thought quick enough to be thoughtful enough to be like, this is probably what I should do. Yeah, they want me to do this, but no, this is what I'm gonna do.
Once you find yourself being a little too honest, sometimes you got to pull yourself back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I've been married 3 times.
Oh my god.
There's a reason. There's always a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Like I always tell my friends. I always tell my friends, or even like any partner I have, it's like, whenever you say anything stupid or like something you're trying to get at my head about, I always tell them I got this like picture a panel, like a wheel of fortune thing that's just spinning. It's just like a book that was just flipped. And I got all these things I can say, but somewhere along there's a blank page that says,
don't do it.
don't do it, just smile and keep walking.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what? I go, yes, you'd be surprised. I actually have that. And they're like, for the first time you have nothing to say. You don't want me to say what I want to say. I'd rather walk away. I'd rather walk away. Or I'd rather just leave one crumb and call it. You got it.
There's a reason why men's life expectancy is a little shorter than women. So,
Because we keep it all in.
that part of it. But then there's also the part that doesn't keep it in that winds us getting, shorter lifespans.
Oh, shit. That makes
You
sense.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're
Well,
gonna don't you know what I mean? It's like always kind of not censor yourself 'cause you don't want to do that, but at the same time, think before you speak. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And I think that's one of the things that it's a skill that's lost, and it's been lost on me before. I definitely spoke out of context of whatever. It's like I think we all do, but you can't reel it back in. It's not a text that you can kind of and get rid of, and then formulate something less toxic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I always say it's easier to talk in text sometimes because like I can change my thought. Because like sometimes it might not come out right. I'm trying to be sincere and whatever, and it comes out being awkward and chunky, and it's like next thing you know, you're getting offended, and it's like I didn't mean it offensive. You know what I mean? It's like
How'd you find that filter when you were cooking, though? Because I feel like in the kitchen industry is so different.
oh,
Or the food industry.
I was brutal when I first started in the industry. I was brutal, man. I was cussing up a storm and just going at people, man. It's just like can't do that,
I maybe only saw you snap not even a handful of times. I think it's because I always got like the better end of the stick on the night shift when we were working.
The night shift, there wasn't the issue.
It was always
It
morning.
was the morning shift. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like,
that was the issue, and it was only one person that was the issue in that day. You know what I mean? So
did it ever feel good? Like, well, I don't even want to say. I guess yeah. Let me ask the question just like how I'm seeing it in my head. Did it ever feel good getting it out?
oh yeah.
Right?
oh yeah.
Because like I'm sure there was moments you would do it and then go and be like, I probably shouldn't have said that, but damn, that felt good.
I don't know. There's times when I've said some things where it's like, yeah, I blew up on people. I was like, but it was amazing. Felt great. Didn't care. I remember I got into a fight with a chef. This is a good one. Um, I was running this kitchen, right, and it was a resort that was opening up, and they hired the executive chef, and he brought on his own staff. So then I got screwed out of every position that I was promised.
Yeah.
I wound up being like the sous chef at the one outlet restaurant, and I was running the show over there more or less. Um, and the executive chef comes over. He goes, "So I hear they call you chef." I go, "Yeah." He goes, I have a problem with people being called chef that don't deserve to be called chef.
Goddamn, Chef
And,
Police.
and then I go, I couldn't agree with you more, chef. And he goes, what the fuck does that mean? I go, you know exactly what the fuck it means right now. Sorry. We're going back and forth. And then the general manager comes in and he goes, I don't know what's going on in here, but you need to get, he throws the executive chef of the freaking restaurant out. He's like, you get out of here. It's like, I don't know what you're doing, but get out of
The
here.
same guy who approached you?
The executive chef? No, the executive chef was the one that got thrown out of the place. The general manager of
Is
the
it,
restaurant.
is the executive chef the same one who came and
What?
so is he the one who said
Of the whole chef thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that came up to he's
like an idiot.
yeah, he's the one that came up to me and said, I don't approve of people being called chef when they don't deserve the title. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. He pretty much said, I hear they call you chef, and I was like, yeah. It's like, he's like, yeah, I don't approve of people being called chef when they don't deserve the title of chef. And that's what I said. I couldn't agree with you more, chef. And then that's when the huge fight broke out. So
Wow.
that was a good one.
Karma is a bitch.
That was a
the
good one.
executive chef got kicked out.
He got thrown out of the restaurant, and then he didn't talk to me for a while. So,
Would you say bye, chef?
no, I didn't say anything. He left, and the general manager and I were just talking. He's just like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I just told him what happened." He's like, he just started laughing. He's like, "That was a good line."
Man, dude,
It was a good line. That was really good, man. Off the cuff, I was like, "Man, that was a good one."
Yeah, you probably looked in the mirror like, yeah.
Oh, I was proud of that one.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's resume.
Yeah.
That's resume worthy right there."
Good one. That's a good one.
That was a good burn.
We all have those sometimes.
Oh yeah, we've all had good burns, left and right. But man, he was an ass. He was a total ass.
He brought the best and worst out of you at the same time.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
That place is a nightmare. Still is a nightmare. Hasn't done anything. But
where was this?
Rather not say.
Here or?
Oh yeah, it was in Arizona. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I didn't. I worked there. I opened the resort up, and then so me and the executive chef at that time, the executive chef, the only one on the property, and then they opened up the resort and they hired an executive chef to run the entire thing because we were just one small entity on the property that was available before the whole resort opened up. So we ran that for several months, and this is how the whole thing started. So he interviews me. He goes, oh, I'm thinking of changing the restaurant that you're working at, blah, 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 changing the whole theme and everything else. I said, well, I've been here for 6 months, Jeff, and, I'd love to help you because, I talk with the clients and, whatever they like and whatever. And it's like, I'd love to assist in any way possible. And he goes, yeah, I'll keep you in mind. I'll use you as last resort. Those are his exact words. I can say that as a quote. That was his exact words. I'll use you as last resort.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, good riddance.
Oh my god.
Right? Total.
Yeah,
dick.
what a
total
dick.
Total dick.
Yeah,
Total
bro.
dick.
Like,
So,
no, I don't need a last resort. You can have a good one. I don't want to be an option. Thank you though.
oh, I was
Appreciate
pissed.
it.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
And the one night we had the Iron Chef Morimoto. He did the special dinner there and signed his mandolin that he had, all Japanese handwriting on the thing. It's beautiful, handwritten. And he goes to me, Lou, do you think you can manage to take this back to my office without damaging it? And I go, no problem, chef. And I take it out of his hand, and I skipped out of the kitchen, swinging my arms back and forth with the freaking thing.
Oh,
I was
hell no.
this close to getting back into the kitchen, into the main kitchen, and taking a steel wool pad and scrubbing that thing and cleaning it completely off. And I go, hey chef, there's a lot of shit on here, but I got it all clean for you. I was that close, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it because my daughter was just born, and I got a kid now, so I can't do that. So I'm gonna bite my tongue. Yeah, I bit my tongue. I bit my tongue. Yeah. I definitely ate my share of shit sandwiches from there without the bread. You know what I mean? So, fucking hated that place. Hated it.
Oh man, finding that like fine line of just like, even in music, bro, finding that fine line of just like walking away. That is a gift. That is a gift. I feel like, yeah, that's just, it's a superpower. Because more than ever now am I quick to be like, telling you like it is. More than ever now.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a very, very small amount where I'm just want to be the one to say it because most of the time I'm like I'm gonna be the bigger man and I just kind of let it sweep it under the rug. But now I'm just like, nah, fuck that, dude. I'm a nice guy, but god damn, nice guys never win in this fucking world. Just sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, I
I'm
know, right?
sorry, dude. I
I
don't want to get
agree.
walked over.
I agree.
Like I hate to be the you. It just sounds like a very egotistic thing to say, but it's like, no. Let me tell you a story, actually. This was the first trip back to Kenya in 2022, back after 14, 15, 16 years. Never gone back home. And on this day before the trip, my brother thought it was wise to postpone getting his passport until the day before.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
That didn't go over
so
well.
yeah, nothing's going wrong. We're at LAX. They say, sorry, we can't take it. He needs to get a passport. We can book your flight for the next 2 days later so he can go get his passport. Where is he going to do that? Well, if he wants to get it done overnight, you got to go. Keep in mind, we just drove from Phoenix to LA. You got to go to the closest place, which is either in LA, and they're probably going to be closed for the weekend, or you can go to Tucson today and get your passport. I looked at this dude. I was like, you are so lucky you're my brother and I love you. I'll drive. My mom goes, thanks, Roy. Get in the car. We drive down. She stays in California. We're having the best trip. It's like one of the best bonding trips I've had with my brother. It's just me and him. We're talking life, this and that. And we're taking our time to get there because it's like a 6-hour drive. So we even had time to go, stop by my house down south, and then even take the back route back to Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
to California. But we get there, and keep in mind, I've never really been to Tucson as an adult. I was a kid when I was there, so I never really got to like experience Tucson. So we get there, and I'm trying to find parking. I've never been in this place, and my brother goes in, and this security guard comes out and goes, "Hey, can't park there. The sign says you can't park there." Okay, sorry, sir. Where can I park? Anywhere else back there? Can't you read? Huh? Can't you read? And I'm like, sir, if you need me to move, I'll move. It's okay, man. Like, I apologize, sir. I'm backing out. Okay, then to go. Like, can't you listen? Can't you read? And I'm looked at him and I was like, your brother's here to get his passport, and that's all, Roy. Just get out this parking spot
Mm-hmm.
and go find another spot. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right, Roy. Go park up. I'm tired. I just drove 7 hours. Come on, woosah, park up. Put my car in park. Turn the music all the way down. You know what? Fuck that dude. Got out my car, went in there. Excuse me. Um, is there like a security boss or something in here? Like somebody I could talk to? His partner. Why? What's going on, buddy? I mean, I need to talk to somebody because that old fart right there. I didn't say that, but I was just like that old dude right there just disrespected and discriminated me and spoke to me in a way that I really didn't respect, even though I was being so kind to him. Oh well. Who do you need to talk to? I was like, whoever's in charge. I'm talking to you, and I was like, no, it's either I talk to him or I talk to whoever's in charge. And I'm trying to be so nice about this, please. I just need to talk to somebody. That dude then goes, all right, come on, buddy. The same guy. Let's go outside. Yeah, let's go outside. Let's go talk. What was that about, man? You don't know me. I don't know you. You had no reason to talk to me like that. I just drove 7, 8 hours. You thought I couldn't read or write. I was looking at the
Yeah.
parking and I moved so calmly. What was the reason for that? I wasn't gonna say anything, man, but I've had it. Oh well, you seem like a real reasonable person. This, that. And I was like, I am, but I'm gonna be honest with you, old man. Like, if I was anybody else who just drove from California 7 hours and you don't know who they are, you'd have been really hurt. So don't you think that like there was a better way to go about that? He goes, yeah, you got a point. How old are you, man? I was like, I'm 22, dude, and I'm telling you this. How old are you? 62. Come on, dude. Honestly, think about that. He goes, yeah, like, I apologize, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, do you agree that you were wrong to do that? I do. All right, man. Shook on it, goes inside. Is your brother still in there? Yeah, he is. All right, man. Hey, dude, just be safe, bro. Like, I'm being so patient. I walked in
Mm-hmm.
there with so much anger. Thanks for listening to me. Like, But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't snap out of this guy into this guy. That makes sense. Yeah. So that was a weird tangent, but I hope it made
No,
sense.
no, because sometimes, well, you got it sometimes, it's like people will push you and push you and push you to the point like you're either going to break or you're going to push back.
Yeah.
And I think some people are that way, it's like they'll push you to the point where they can push you no further. And you're either going to leave one way or another, or you're going to snap back at them, and I think that was one of the things that made me change of who I was when I was, I still lose my cool. I'm not going to lie about that. I still lose my cool, whatever, but it's usually justified, most of the time. But it's one of those things where it's like, you got to realize you're talking to another grown individual. You can't talk to another grown. You shouldn't be talking to kids like that either. But I mean, you can't talk to another grown individual that way. You got to give them some. You give them the respect that you want to receive yourself until they ain't reciprocating it. You know what I mean? Once they stop reciprocating it, then you're gonna get the old me. You're gonna get the asshole, and you're gonna have to deal with that. And it's like, I try not to do that, but like I said, there are moments where it's like, all right, you're not, what I mean? It's like, so, um, you know, they're just so far that you'll take it, and then it's just like, I'm gonna start to push back because otherwise you're just gonna keep walking all over me like you're doing. So you got to do what you got to do sometimes,
Yeah.
and just but do it. And you did it professionally, I was like, I want to talk to somebody because this wasn't right, and that's the way it should be, It's like point out somebody's and you didn't cost the guy his job, probably could have, you know what I mean?
I actually told him that. I was like,
Hey,
"Yo,
you
if I
could
was
have.
somebody else,
It could have been, yeah, it could have been escalated to the point where it's like, you're gone, dude,
Yeah.
and that's dumb, dude. You know what I mean? It's like you're having a bad day. Don't take it out on the next person that talks to you. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know it's easier said than done sometimes, but especially when you're working with public, you can't.
And we're both in the people's business.
We
So,
are. We are.
like, I
We
feel
are.
like that is just rule number one. Just learning how to find that fine line of like you, and then there's like Lulu, and then there's Loop de Lou, which is like the professional, and then there's like yeah, right. There's Chef Lou, and then there's just Lou,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's Roy, and then there's obviously the artist, Roy Rutto. Like there's two different sides of that, and it's like just finding that perfect middle ground of like, okay, just for your service, I'm gonna try to meet you here, but I'm not gonna sacrifice me just for the sake of me giving you. I'm not gonna kiss your ass for anything.
No,
So
never.
yeah,
Never. And that's the way I am too. It's like I'm not gonna have anybody talk down to me or belittle me or anything else like that. I'm gonna be very professional when I come to your house, cook for you and stuff like that. But don't push to the point where it's like you feel like you can walk all over me or my help or whatever it's like that.
for
It's like
sure.
you're not gonna get away with that. Not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a coworker. She was talking about they were catering a party, and the lady said, "I don't want any of you or the staff to make eye contact with any of my guests." So the first thing that happened was when they all sat down at the table, this lady walked up and went, "Hi, how are you doing today? Is everything good? Everything, just looking square in the eye. And I'm like, that's the way it should handle. It's like, no, you don't talk to me. He's like, I might be here serving you, but that doesn't make me your servant or anything else. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't treat me like that. Like, there's a fine line between me doing my job and me doing whatever the hell you think is going on here, because like that
Whatever
ain't
you
happening.
think is my job.
Yeah, you ain't paying me enough to act like that. So
Yeah.
there's no way in hell. Like I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna walk out of the room with a hand, like not making eye contact or anything else. Fuck you. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
You're nobody. You know what I mean?
It's like when somebody tries to tell me how to bartend, and it's like, hey, I understand. It's not how I make my money. That's not how I move. If there's a textbook way you know it, I'm sorry. Come and do it. Here's my badge. I always do something like, here, you want to come back here and do it?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh. Like a customer next to them will be like, like this kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you just, if somebody gives you shit like that, they can just go, we're hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, you want to do it? We're hiring. Look, I got an application here and a pen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
There you go.
I would love to have you as a coworker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing would make me more happier. Like shitting bubbles and.
Oh, and if you're hired in 2 weeks, just know that I'll be gone by then.
But before then, I'm gonna make sure I key your car.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or piss on it or shit on it. Something. Something.
All up and down that thing. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, there's always people like that. So
yeah.
all right, let's wrap this up.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, it was a blast. It was obviously we got to do this more often than every 5.5 years. So
now that I know where you live,
you'll be here.
and now that you know that I'm here more often than usual, so let's get it.
There you go.
One of my engineers lives 30 minutes from here. One of my good friends, if she continues being my good friend, lives 15 minutes from here. So I'm always either there or here. Yeah, so
That'll get picked up on the mic real good.
I know. Goes to show you how good of a time we had.
It's all good. I'm walking around in the shoes over here with no socks on, so every time I step, every once in a while, I hear this. It's like it's the shoe. It's the shoe.
You sure?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
it wasn't all that prosciutto.
Not the old man's sphincter yet. So
it wasn't the sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh, I found it again. So,
hey, dude, thanks for having me, bro.
It was a blast,
that didn't feel like a podcast. It just felt like us talking. I loved it.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like it should be fun. It should be enjoyable, and it's I think that's what we need to do. Is there like a YouTube station that you want to plug before?
Oh yeah, back again to me sucking at talking about myself.
All good.
I'm everywhere. Roy Rutto, ROYRUTTO, everywhere. Literally Facebook, YouTube, Apple Music, Deezer, whatever you use, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify. Bandcamp is still around.
I don't even know what the hell it is.
You don't know?
You're saying it's still around, and I'm like, I'm just catching up on this.
Dude, Bandcamp is the shit. Somebody just bought my music for $5 and tipped me $5. So nice. I made $10 2 days ago from somebody saying, I like this kid. I'm going to buy this rather than streaming it. So it's the most direct way to support an artist that isn't streaming.
Okay, all right.
Streaming's cool. Thank you for playing it. That's awesome. It's exposure.
Yeah, but you don't get the money that you should. Yeah.
You need like a couple $100,000 to get even $100, $1,000 check. I think 1 million views is like not even 5,000.
Are you serious?
It's peanuts, dude. I gotta go do the math again. No, 100,000 streams on Apple Music is $1,000. I think so. Or is it $100? So most of what you're doing as an artist, you know what you're doing. You're just using these platforms to get exposure, so people can go and actually support the product.
So that's like a penny a click.
Penny fucking click. I still get a check coming in every 3 months, which is great. It's not life-changing money.
Sure.
It's great, but I got to add a few more zeros to that. And how do I do that? Just got to make myself a brand. So yeah, go check me out on everything, even Bandcamp. That's what really gets me paid.
I just heard Bandcamp, and I don't know if you remember seeing the movie American Pie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped into my head. There's one time at Bandcamp. Yeah.
Go. Yeah. Look up Bandcamp. It's a great fucking platform.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll look at it. I learn new stuff all the time about all that stuff.
I just learned how to make a pizza. I forgot
there you go.
how to make a pizza at Cherish, so this is.
Oh well.
That was a pizza.
Cauliflower crust.
Oh God, that was fun.
You see my face? Did you see my face? I don't even know if I was on the. I don't even know if I was on camera there or not.
Oh,
this is the face. Cauliflower crust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cauliflower crust. I get it. It's.
But no.
But man,
it's sticking in the oven.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
We could talk about that all day.
It was bad.
Dude, thanks for having me.
It was a blast having you.
Yeah.
It was a blast having you. And like I said, we'll do this again. And it's it's always fun to always catch up. And
can I pack this up?
Hell yeah, you can pack that up. Absolutely.
I actually don't even know what time it is. I know I got a 1.5 hour drive.
Oh yeah. Well, shit. If it's a certain point, you just hang out here.
I
You know?
need to, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you don't want to get stuck in that shit.
Let me see.
But bye, everybody.
Bye.
Or not.